Credit cards are bad.
Money Mindset.
I think that sounds alright.
Credit cards are bad. We all know this, but yet so many people are still using credit card, and it's so detrimental to long-term wealth. So I would highly recommend getting rid of your credit cards, cutting them up, or at least putting them in your sock drawer so you're not using them for everyday spending. It's not our fault. Credit card companies are very clever at getting us to use their credit cards. They give us points, they make it almost gamified, make it fun, and like points, collecting, making it like fun, like a game, and it makes it even more incentive, gives it even more incentive for us to use credit cards. But we have to understand how bad they are for long-term wealth. So I'm going to talk about 3 points. So interest rates, mind space, and because they seem less real. So if you look at the back of interest rates, credit card bills, how big the interest rates are on some of these credit cards, it's nuts. Like the amount of interest you pay on these, it's incredible how credit card companies can get away with charging so much. And it increases. We talk about compound interest a lot in these videos, and it just works against you. So compound interest is working against you. So think of the power of compound interest, how quickly or how quickly your money can double over time. So if you're using credit cards against you, your money is you're gonna get into a downward spiral, and it's gonna get worse and worse and worse. So using the football formation asset allocation, you need to substitute debt off the pitch and bring on bonds. So rather than you borrowing money and paying an interest on that, you need to lend money, and people can pay you an interest on the money that you lend them. So that's the first point, so interest rates. The second point is mind space. It takes up so much space in our brains. We humans can only take up so many tasks each day, and if you're stressing about paying a credit card, then that's kind of space in your mind that you could be thinking about building long-term wealth. So this is why credit cards are so detrimental. If a bill comes through, once a week or once a month, that's time out of your day that you're focusing on the wrong thing. You're focusing on interest rates that are going to erode your wealth over time. So yeah, it causes stress. So money worries tops the poll for millennials as the biggest stress that they have at the moment, and that's mainly, I put it down to a lot to do with credit cards, because it just causes so much downward spiral, and once you're in this kind of debt spiral, it's so difficult to get out. So yeah, number 2, it causes it reduces your mind space, and number 3, when you're spending on credit, it seems less real. So you go and just use money at the till, if you're physically handing over the money that you've worked for, if you've spent 10 hours of a day working for this money, and then you're going to be less reluctant to hand it over, or you're going to be more kind of conscious of how you're spending that money. If it's kind of credit, it seems almost it's almost like a game. It's almost like they've gamified it, so it seems less real. So actually, studies have been done on this, and it actually increases spending. So if you're actually using credit, because it seems less real, you're more likely to spend more. And also, chemicals light up in your brain. So we're humans, and we're bombarded by messages every day, adverts, billboards as on our way to work. And when we spend money, kind of little chemicals are released in our brain, and that kind of makes us feel good. So these dopamine, serotonin, these kind of light up kind of parts of our brain. So it's not our fault that credit cards it's so easy to get into the kind of credit spiral, because it releases chemicals in the brain. But this is why we have to kind of understand, and knowing this happens can really help us kind of moving away from credit cards and moving towards building long-term wealth that is going to essentially finding what's your life plan and where you want to get to eventually, rather than kind of getting stuck in the kind of the quagmire of credit card debt. And finally, just to highlight, so credit cards are bad, don't use them. The interest rates on them are super high, they take up valuable mind space, and it seems less real, so we actually spend more.
Money Mindset.
I think that sounds alright.